And a very good day and welcome to this week's Sounds of Brass weekly catch-up news. The place to stay tuned with everything happening across the brass band world. I'm your host Peter, guiding you through the latest headlines. And to kick off, the Capital Promotions music panel at the National Brass Band Championships of Great Britain has released the test pieces for the 2026 sections 1 to 4 finals to be held on the 19th and 20th of September at York Barbican, and also for the championship section to be held on the 3rd of October 2026 at the iconic London Royal Albert Hall. The championship section test piece is A Road Less Travelled, composed by Philip Spark and published by Anglo Music. The first section test piece will be Beyond the Falls, The Smoke That Thunders by Andrew Wainwright and published by Prima Vista Music. For section 2, the test piece is A Song of Courage by Eric Ball and published by SP&S. The third section test piece is Snow Island by Thierry Delaruyel, published by De Haas, and the section 4 test piece will be Heroes of the North by Peter Graham, published by Gramercy Music. Congratulations goes to the Youth Brass 2000 on winning the Yamaha Championship section of this year's National Youth Brass Band Championships. Also gaining gold awards were Elland Youth Band, Hampshire County Youth Band and Lions Youth Brass. St Austell Youth were the winners of the Challenge section, with gold awards for second and third place Astley Youth Band and Stockport Schools Senior Brass Band. Ellen Silver won the ABRSM Performance section, gaining gold recognition alongside Pembrokeshire Music Service Youth Brass Band and English Martyrs Senior Brass Band. There was so much to celebrate in all the performances heard across every section. Truly an inspiring and joyful day. Applications are invited for young musicians who would like to be part of the World Youth Brass Band in Kirkrade in July for the World Music Contest. The band will feature 29 musicians aged between 18 and 25 under the direction of Dutch conductor Eric Janssen and guest soloists Glyn and Helen Williams. Musicians can apply until the 1st of May 2026 via wmc.nl/participate/world-youth-brass-band. That's www.wmc.nl/participate/world-youth-brass-band. WMC can only admit a limit number of participants and will select the best musicians based on their CV and video material. Successful applicants will be informed on May the 15th. The World Youth Brass Band will be based at the festival location in Rawluke Abbey in Kirkrade from the July the 5th to July the 12th, 2026. Bojan Bus, Artistic Director at WMC, commented by saying, "The World Youth Brass Band is our way of bringing together talented performers to enjoy a world-class direction and musical experiences. By creating this band, we are setting a stage where young people with diverse educational and cultural backgrounds can meet each other and form lasting friendships throughout music. I consider this to be a vital task of an international wind band festival like WMC." The National Youth Brass Band of Great Britain is currently underway at Duchy College in Harrogate under the baton of Professor Nicholas Childs. The 90 members are already enjoying intense rehearsals and tutoring, as well as plenty of downtime fun as well. They will feature the world premiere of Victorian Wood, a Laugh Less Ordinary by Andrea Price, commissioned through the Victoria Wood Foundation, which pays homage to the life of the remarkable comic artist. The guest soloist is Mike Cabanagh, the solo baritone of the Black Dyke Band, who will perform Peter Graham's Concerto for Baritone, works by Bruce Broughton. Edward Gregson and Paul Lubbock Cooper are also featured. For tickets to this event, the Leyburn concert will be held Saturday the 11th of April at 5 p.m. The Garden Rooms at Tennant, the Auction House, Harmby Road, Leyburn, DL8 5SG. For tickets, go to www.nybbg.org.uk/watts-events/youth-band-Easter-concert-2026- for the Royal Northern College of Music concert, which will be held on Saturday the 18th of April at 6 p.m. at the Royal Northern College of Music, 124 Oxford Road in Manchester, M139RD. For tickets, you can get tickets by going to www.nybbg.org.uk/watts-events/youth-band-Easter-concert-2026- A fascinating insight into the brass band world of the late 1960s can now be enjoyed through the BBC archives. The omnibus programme, Top Brass, follows Black Dyke Mills, Gus Footwear and Woodfalls as they prepare for their appearance at the 1967 National Finals at the Royal Albert Hall. Originally broadcasted for the first time on the 23rd of January back in 1968 on BBC Two, it not only features the bands in performance on stage, but also interviews with conductors Geoffrey Brand, Stanley Boddington and Courtney Bosanquet, players such as John Berryman, James Shepherd, personalities such as Edwin Vaughan Morris, bands, sponsor and family members. There is also a glimpse at the draw, the judges, the box placed on the first tier of the hall behind the solo cornets, not in the middle of the hall, the results and the rather chaotic scene as Black Dyke Mills players race to the stage to give the lap of honour performance led by a rather isolated John Clough. To enjoy this, go to the YouTube page and in the search bar type in 1968 Battle to be Top Brass and you should be able to find the programme to watch. And now to Australia. The first title of the 2026 Australian National Championships has been claimed by Elijah Baker of Willoughby City. The talented trombonist from the Premier Grade New South Wales band claimed the Blue Ribbon Champion of Champions title with an outstanding performance of Ray Steadman Allen's The Eternal Quest. The 10 instrumental champions, who had earlier come through hard-fought individual championship events, showcased their set work solo choice, talents for an appreciative audience, as well as the adjudicators Russell Gray and David Bremner. Before the announcement of the winner, Russell stated by saying that they had enjoyed every performance with some super playing that left them highly impressed, although they had agreed instantly on the winner. It rounded off a truly and potentially unique day in the history of the event, as earlier Ayrshire won the junior tenor trombone against 17 competitors and open tenor trombone against 10 senior rivals before going on to claim the junior champion of champions title and then the senior championship, and all accompanied by his brother Gabe on piano. As the final performer of the competition, Ayrshire's rendition was one of the marked musical materials allied to a fine technique, and where others faltered slightly with in-offs and scraps, as described by Russell, his stood out for its consistency and accomplishment. The other finalists were Stephen Port on bass trombone, Ross Milani on baritone, Marja Heath on flugel, George Metelsis on cornet, Jamie Fixter on soprano cornet, Bruce Myers, defending champion, horn, Adam Arnold on double E-flat tuba, who also won the double B-flat tuba category, and Ralph Harvey on trumpet. Julie Prolong, a cornet player from Echo de la Tente Blanche and brass band Troyes, has become the 2026 Swiss national solo champion. Not only did the 19-year-old from Herensard claim the overall title, but earlier she also won the cornet category and junior championship accolades with her outstanding performance of I'm Alone, They Are Everybody by Van Lager. Last year, Julie was guest soloist player for the National Youth Brass Band of Switzerland, who performed with the National Youth Brass Band of Great Britain as part of the Brass Horizons exchange programme sponsored by Besson Brass. In November, she was also crowned overall Valenciennes champion. As part of the prize, she will be invited to perform at the 2027 Royal Northern College of Music International Brass Band Festival in Manchester as a featured soloist. Speaking about the competition, adjudicator Dr. Roger Webster commented by saying the overall standard of solo playing is remarkable, and the desire to proudly compete is something the rest of the banding world should take inspiration from. The winners in each category were outstanding. It is no surprise Tries Atolls is also such a shining example to the world of brass bands. And finally, on Saturday the 28th of March, the National Youth Brass Band of Champions of Great Britain, Youth Champs 2026, welcomed a record 42 bands to King Edward's School in Birmingham to perform at this important national event for youth banding. Over 1,300 young people played across 4 sections to 2 full halls of enthusiastic supporters, hosted by compares David Hayward and Zoe Higgins. Awards were presented for the Yamaha Championship section. Test piece Netherland by Christopher Bond. Third place went to Hampshire County Youth Band. Second place went to Elland Youth Band. And first place went to Youth Brass 2000. Best soloist was Seth Barber. Solo Euphonium from Elland Youth Band. Adjudicated by Anne Willoughby and Christopher Bond. The winning championship section band Youth Brass 2000 is now eligible to represent England at the 2027 European Youth Brass Band Contest in Switzerland. The new for 2026 challenge section, third place went to Stockport School's Senior Brass Band, second place went to Astley Youth Band, and first place went to St Austin Youth Band. Best soloist was Will Lord on flugel, played from Horbury Victoria Band, adjudicated by Lauren Chin and Elsa Russell. The ABRSM performance section, third place went to English Martyrs Senior Brass Band, second place went to Pembrokeshire Music Service Brass Band, and first place Elland Training Band. Best soloist was Lantor Evans, trombone player for Pembrokeshire Music Service Brass Band, and adjudicated by Daniel Brooks and Stephanie Kennedy. The Best and Prodigy Showcase section, 8 bands performed in this non-competitive section, including Little Bonty Brass, who made their Youth Champs debut, with feedback provided by adjudicators Anna Wilby and Christopher Bond. And unfortunately, that brings us to the end of this week's weekly catch-up of your brass band news from here in the UK and from around the world. So from Peter and everyone here at the Sounds of Brass newsroom, that was your weekly brass band entertainment and brass band world news.